Have you ever noticed how you can be deeply pulled toward witchcraft and deeply afraid of it at exactly the same time? Because that contradiction confuses a lot of witches. You feel drawn to the craft, you think about it constantly, you watch the videos, you buy the tools, you buy the books, and yet when it comes to fully stepping into your practice, something inside of you just freezes. You hesitate, you doubt yourself, you pull away, you suddenly feel overwhelmed. And eventually you start wondering, why does this feel so hard for me when I know I'm meant for this path? But what if the problem isn't that you're a bad witch or that you're bad at witchcraft? What if a part of you simply does not feel safe being fully in your power? Because that's what we're going to talk about today, the witch wound, and how it quietly stops witches from fully becoming themselves. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sandra and I've been practicing witchcraft for over 35 years. I'm also the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. And one of the deepest things that I've learned through my own path, especially through shadow work and working with Hecate, is that most witches are not struggling because they're incapable of practicing witchcraft. They're struggling because somewhere deep inside, it's stopped feeling safe to fully become who they are. And honestly, this is something I see constantly. Witches who are deeply called to the craft, it's a spiritual practice for them, it's not just about magic, but they keep doubting themselves, hiding themselves because they're pulling away from their practice without understanding why. And so today I want to walk you through the 5 biggest signs your witch wound is running your practice and what begins to change when you finally start healing it. Now, let me explain what I mean by witch wound, because I know that a lot of you have heard the term before, but I want you to really sit with this today. The witch wound is deep within us. It's about the fear of stepping into your power. Your body carries old memories about visibility, power, intuition, spirituality, and being different. Throughout history, powerful people, healers, mystics, and outsiders were feared, punished, rejected, silenced, murdered, and controlled. And whether you see that as spiritual, psychological, ancestral, or symbolic, the effect is the same. You learn that it's safer to stay small. It's safer to hide. It's safer not to be seen. Safer not to trust yourself fully. Safer not to trust your intuition. And what's interesting about this wound is that it doesn't usually stop you from being interested in witchcraft itself. It stops you from fully embodying it and practicing it. So today I want to walk you through the 5 biggest signs that your witch wound is running your practice, because once you can see it, you can then start healing it. And before we dive into the signs, and if you're recognizing yourself in this or you're just interested in witchcraft, I have a free class called Start Your Witchcraft Practice Without Overwhelm. And it's specifically for witches who feel blocked, inconsistent, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their practice. And the link is in the description field below this video, and you can also find it on my website, mysterywitchschool.com. So the first sign is that you constantly start and stop your practice. I've spoken about this before. You get excited, you feel inspired, you buy the tools, you set your intentions, you do some spells, and then suddenly you just vanish from it. And maybe you've told yourself this means you're lazy or you're not committed, you have no sense of willpower, you're undisciplined, or that you just can't stick to something. I've heard that over and over again. But what if it's actually a safety response? Have you ever noticed that the moment your practice starts feeling real, you suddenly lose motivation? And that's important because often the issue isn't about doing witchcraft. The issue is that what witchcraft awakens inside of you. Visibility, power, intuition, self-trust, change. And if your nervous system associates these things with danger, then your body will pull you away from the practice before you even realize what's happening. You're not failing because you're weak. You're reacting to something inside of you that learned that it was safer to not step fully into yourself. And when this starts healing, something shifts. Your practice stops feeling like something you have to force yourself to do. It starts feeling more like coming home to yourself. And this is actually one of the reasons I've been creating something really special for the community. Because I know that many witches struggle with consistency, overwhelm, not knowing how to stay connected to their practice in a really meaningful and grounded way. So in a couple of weeks, I'm releasing a daily practice app that is designed to help you reconnect with your craft and your practice every day without the pressure, without the perfectionism, or feeling like you have to do everything at once. And I'll share more about that as we come closer to the launch date, which is the 23rd of June. The second sign is hiding. Maybe your altar is hidden away. Maybe nobody knows you practice. Maybe you minimize this part of yourself when somebody asks you about spirituality. And listen, privacy is not the problem. Not everybody is in a safe position to openly talk about witchcraft, let alone let people know that you practice it. I get that. But there is a difference between privacy and erasing yourself. Privacy is a conscious choice. Hiding is fear making the choice for you. And this is where the witch wound can get really painful. Because over time, you don't just hide your practice from other people. You start hiding it from yourself. You stop allowing yourself to fully want what you want, believe what you believe, and be who you are. Now, my magical space is in the garage. One of the reasons it's in the garage is because it's a really cool space to do magic. But it's also because it's away from where most people hang out. No one goes into my garage unless they're invited to go in there for some reason. So people don't have to know that I practice witchcraft. And I do that deliberately because there are still some people that I sort of know that just wouldn't be comfortable with it. And so I do hide it myself. But what I've learned over the years is that as I've become more confident in myself and being who I am, that I'm starting to speak up more about spirituality, to have my say about spirituality in some social groups and not hiding myself anymore. So even though a lot of people don't know that I'm a witch, I'm still able to step into my power to speak what I believe is true and real from a spiritual perspective. So it's not that you have to put yourself out there. It's just simply, are you hiding from yourself? And rather than just being cautious in a very discerning way. Now, the third sign is overthinking your practice instead of experiencing it. You stress over doing everything correctly, the right herbs, the right moon phase, the right correspondences, the right wording. And because you're so focused on getting it perfect, you never actually allow yourself to truly practice. And this one's a sneaky little devil because perfectionism often disguises itself as dedication. But a lot of the time, perfectionism is just protection. If you stay in your head, you never have to fully open emotionally. You never have to trust yourself. You never have to surrender to the actual experience. But real witchcraft isn't intellectual. It's embodied. It's relational. It's emotional. It's intuitive. And that can feel incredibly vulnerable. And this is actually something that we work deeply with inside the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, because so many beginner witches think that they need more information, more practices, when what they really need is safety, structure, and permission to be themselves. The fourth sign is imposter syndrome. You feel drawn to witchcraft, but you don't feel like a real witch. You think everybody else knows something that you don't. Everyone else is more psychic than you are, more intuitive than you are. You think you need another book, another course, another initiation before you're allowed to claim this path. And if you're recognizing yourself here, just pause for a moment. Nothing is actually wrong with you. Your reactions do make sense, because the witch wound teaches you that power is something you must earn through perfection, through hard work, through degrees. But the truth is, many witches are not struggling with lack of knowledge. The knowledge is out there. They're struggling with a lack of permission. Permission to trust themselves. Permission to take up space. Permission to stop apologizing for who and what they are. And I know for me, there was a lot of shrinking, making myself smaller, dimming myself, staying uncertain, because uncertainty just felt safer than owning my power and being confident and trusting myself. And eventually I became tired of hiding from myself. It felt really bad inside my heart. It felt sad. I felt loss. I felt grief for doing that. And the fifth sign is the push-pull. You're deeply drawn to witchcraft, but terrified at the exact same time. You binge the videos, you read the books, you may even buy some tools, do some spells, but when it comes to truly stepping in, you freeze, or you only do the surface level stuff. This tension is important because part of you recognizes this path, but another part associates transforming through this path with danger. So the witch wound creates this constant conflict between longing and fear. You want to become yourself, your true self, your witch self, but becoming yourself feels unsafe. And healing doesn't suddenly turn you into somebody fearless either. What it does help you feel is safer enough to stop running from yourself. Safe enough to practice, safe enough to trust yourself, safe enough to take up spiritual space in your own life. So let's bring all of this together. You start and stop, you hide, you shrink, you feel like an imposter, you're drawn to the craft but afraid of it at the same time. These are not separate problems. They're symptoms of the same wound. And this is the part that I really need you to hear. Your practice is not broken because you're bad at witchcraft. Your practice feels broken because part of you learned that being fully yourself was not safe. You don't need more aesthetic practice. You don't need to memorize more correspondences. You don't need to prove your worthiness. You need a safer relationship with your power. So if you've been watching this video and recognizing yourself in these patterns and starting and stopping and hiding and overthinking and everything, the fear of being seen in your power, I need you to understand this. This doesn't mean that you're failing at witchcraft. It means that there's parts of you that still do not feel safe becoming who you really are. And healing that changes everything. Because eventually the path stops being about collecting more information or collecting more bits and pieces. It becomes about learning how to trust yourself, be visible to yourself, feel safe in your own power, and build a spiritual practice that actually supports who you're becoming. And that's why I created the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy. not just to teach, Wicca and witchcraft, but to help witches actually build a grounded, connected, embodied witchcraft practice and a relationship with themselves. Because so many witches are overwhelmed, inconsistent, or disconnected from their practice, not because they lack ability or lack information, but because nobody has actually taught them how to feel safe enough, given them structure to help them feel safe so they can truly step onto their path. And for those of you who are already experienced practitioners, but you know that there's still deeper fears and shadows or patterns holding you back, this is the deeper work, because the witch wound doesn't disappear just because you've been practicing for years. Sometimes the deeper the path becomes, the more important the shadow work becomes too. It's a part of deepening the path. You'll find the links to the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy and my shadow work courses in the description field below this video, and also on my website, mysterywitchschool.com. And wherever you are on your path, you do not have to walk this alone. There are people like me out there to help you one-on-one or through courses. There's communities out there online and in person. This doesn't have to be a solo journey, all alone, in the dark, not knowing where you're going. And just imagine waking up, no longer feeling this unconscious sense of guilt or shame about your path. Imagine sitting at your altar without second guessing yourself. Imagine practicing not because you're trying to prove you're a good witch, but because your practice genuinely nourishes you and helps you feel connected. You're not broken. Your practice is not failing. You're healing the parts of yourself that learned it was dangerous for you to step into your power. And when that healing begins, witchcraft stops feeling like a performance. It starts to feel just like home. Let me know in the comments what you think is underneath your struggle with your practice. Is it fear, self-doubt, or something deeper? And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Blessed be.